What up, is Marcus? We have waiver time, and I am so excited for waiver time because you, of course, don't want to lose your draft at the draft day, but waivers are so important. It's because there are so many injuries in football, and you get some of these players that we have questions about, some of these backfields. Like the number one waiver priority right now in a lot of leagues is going to be Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, he looked like the starting running back. If you looked at the split here, yes, Boston Scott had the one, I guess you could say, within the 10 zone carry. DeAndre Swift is so talented. I just don't understand what they're doing with him. So Kenneth Gainwell could be the running back here. And if he is the starting running back here, you need to pick him up. He needs to be the priority pickup here because he's on a really good team. And they trusted him a little bit last year. They really did. And Kenneth Gainwell is a very talented running back. I talked about how, yes, he was a late pick, a sixth-round pick, but still, I thought that he was more of a third-round grade, maybe even a late second-round grade, and it just never happened. If you watch my videos of Dynasty Rookie Rankings, he was super high, and then he crashed, came crumbling down because of his late pick. He was just a late pick. If you looked at him with his college tape with Antonio Gibson in college, Kenneth Gainwell was the lead back there, and we saw what Antonio Gibson did in the NFL level. We were like, okay, Kenneth Gainwell is going to be a good running back. And so he's a little undersized, but so is all the running backs for Philadelphia besides Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny was a healthy scratch, so I think Kenneth Gainwell is the number one waiver priority pickup. And I'm doing this for what we assume are some of the waiver priorities. There's going to be some players that might be dropped in your league. By the way, be very, very, very cautious on who is getting dropped. You might see Drake London get dropped. You might see some of these players like Kyle Pitts. Somebody might just be already fed up and say, I'm going to drop Kyle Pitts for Hunter Henry. And when you say it doesn't happen, I have a very competitive league. Somebody dropped Tyler Lockett last year. I don't understand why. It just sometimes it happens, and then if you don't watch it or don't see it, then you can miss out on a golden opportunity. Number 2 is going to be Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams has been this hyper talented player out of Notre Dame. For some people, they thought he was going to be a round 2 pickup. I thought he was more of a round 4 or 5. He ended up sliding into the draft because he was slow. He ran like a 4.7 40. It was just horrible. But Kyren Williams looks like he might be the starter here. Cam Akers, as you know, I am the Cam Akers hater. And then I was like, maybe he ended the year good. Maybe I'll move him up a little bit. And then now Kyren Williams comes out and is the starter week 1. So I feel like this is all Kyren Williams' backfield until you either get an injury by Kyren Williams, which he was very injury prone last year, or until somehow Cam Akers reclaims his job. But I think the Rams are going to be running the ball a lot. And so both number 2 and number 3 are from the Rams, that horrible, maybe not horrible team. I don't know. They beat the Seahawks pretty good. Puka, 15 targets by Puka. I actually had one of my closest buddies who is a big Dynasty person said, Puka is my Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I looked at him and I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. He's also said some other crazy things that have not come true. But there's once in a while where he comes out of left field and says, hey, like last year it was Chig. And then a few years back it was Raheem Mostert's going to come out of the blue. And I was just like, okay, sure. Like, I'll believe you when I see it. And he was putting all of his money on Michael Williams and Puka. And Puka, 15 targets, 10 for 119. He's my number 1 wide receiver pickup here. Now, remember, after week 1, the week 1 pickups here are going to be likely the most successful pickups all year. That's what the statistics show, besides injury. And so if you want to burn a waiver priority, burn it. Like, these are 3 important players here. Number 4 is Rashid Shaheed. Again, it's tough because he's in a 3-headed monster, or 2-headed. You have a bunch of running backs, but you have Michael Thomas and you have Chris Olave. So does Michael Thomas go to the wayside? And does Rashid Shaheed kind of take over, 5 for 89? Or is Rashid Shaheed just a long, deep threat type of player? He averages a huge average yards per catch. It's to be seen. But I like Rashid Shaheed as a big kind of like Gabriel Davis type, where, yeah, you might get 1 for 12, but he also might get you the 89 for a touchdown and win you a week or save you a week. So number 5 is Romeo Doubs. As you see, we're going a lot of wide receiver here, not like a lot of running backs. We'll talk here. 2 touchdowns, pair of touchdowns. Maybe he's Jordan Love's guy. We'll see what happens with Christian Watson's injury. Christian Watson has been injured in the past too last year, and so is Romeo Doubs. But Romeo Doubs also had some big drops. He's down here because I do see some holes in his game, but maybe it's going to be Jalen Reed show. We don't know. So he could be an also pickup as well. So something to look at. Number 6 is Rashee Rice. Out of any wide receiver, I think the Kansas City running receivers are pretty poor. I mean, they just are. I think that 90% chance that none of them become anything successful. I think there's a 10% chance, and it's all based off of Rashee Rice, not Rashid. He's second-round talent. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's a little bit older, smaller school. He looked the part. He didn't play as many snaps as we wanted to, but he's a rookie. Maybe this is a little bit of a longer-term play, and honestly, you might be able to get him on a second waiver priority. If you have 2 people to drop, if you had a J.K. Dobbins unfortunate injury, maybe you go Rashee Rice on the second one, and you go this priority first, which is number 7 Baltimore running backs. And why are they so low? I really think you could pick one of 4 running backs, and that's the problem. I think it could be Gus Edwards, which would be the number 1 likely chance. It could be Justice Hill, which I think is going to be probably like my last of the chances. And I think it could be Kareem Hunt or Leonard Fournette. It could be. They did Latavius Murray. They did Devontae Freeman. They are classic in the we want a veteran presence. If Kareem Hunt hasn't been picked up, if Leonard Fournette hasn't been picked up, those are some running backs, especially, I think Leonard Fournette is somebody you could get, again, on their second waiver priority. You go get a Kenneth Gainwell. You go get a Kyron Williams with Fab. And then you throw $1 in. If you're doing Fab budget, you throw $1 in on Leonard Fournette. Throw $1 in, or throw a couple bucks probably on Kareem Hunt. And wait, and this is the chance that you'll see these types of running backs, these free agent running backs, get signed. And if Kareem Hunt goes there, where's Kareem Hunt going to be in the landscape of things? Well, Kareem Hunt is probably going to be a RB2. Gus Edwards probably going to be a low-end RB2. So you have to just weigh. Is it going to be Gus Edwards, who is the right now running back? Or is it going to be Kareem Hunt, who I would actually have above Gus Edwards? I think Gus Edwards would stay in his spot. I think Kareem Hunt would take the J.K. Dobbins role and maybe even get a high-end RB2 out of that. All right, some other players that we want to talk about. Zay Jones played a lot over Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk played a lot of internal slot snaps. He could be somebody that gets dropped. If he gets dropped, worth a pickup. I think Christian Kirk, 1 week, teams are going to start, they're going to say, okay, Calvin Ridley's back. What are we going to do to bracket Calvin Ridley? What are we going to make to shift the offense to away from Calvin Ridley so we can not let him have over 100 yards and a touchdown? So that is just, again, right off the bat, we want to see what happens. And so there's so many things. Zay Jones, I think, is still a little bit of a later flyer. I'd rather have Christian Kirk over Zay Jones. Zay Flowers already should be picked up. If Zay Flowers is not picked up, he'd be the number 1 wide receiver, or even over Puka. All right, quarterbacks, you got Jordan Love, you got Stafford. Those are some good options here. If you're losing Aaron Rodgers, which he tore his Achilles, again, I'm not going after Zach Wilson or anything like that. And all Lazard and Garrett Wilson owners are crying right now, including myself, who is a big Garrett Wilson owner. Yeah, I'm just sad. Just am. Because, out of Drake London, Garrett Wilson, and Treylon Burks, I have a lot of Garrett Wilson. I just have a lot of him. And so, yeah, that's unfortunate. And Drake, like I said, Drake London might get dropped, so these are some players to look at. So these are my waiver wire priorities. If you're looking for a tight end, Hunter Henry is a chance. We saw the Mike Gesicki show. I kind of told you guys that wasn't going to be anything impressive. But those are, again, the waiver priorities. Nothing crazy. Again, if Mark Andrews is out, maybe you go back to the Isaiah Likely show. It's just really tough to try to go back into that boat. All right, this is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads. Peace out. Take care. We'll see you again tomorrow.